You know, a video like this is going to give me a lot of flack. What I'm going to say in this video may offend you. A lot of it is my opinion. Some of it's based off of facts. And I know that the YouTube algorithm is going to want to suppress this video. So fight back by liking, sharing, subscribing, and let's have some real talk. Hi, I'm RJ. So, you're reading the title of this video, right? And I truly, truly believe this. And again, I'm not speaking to all women, but a good chunk, a good majority of American women are nothing more than spoiled, ungrateful brats. There, I said it out loud. There ain't no other way around it. And you may be thinking, RJ, what the hell are you talking about? Look around. I mean, go talk to some random women on the street without being called a creep. Go ask out a chick without being ridiculed in real life. Used to be going online to date was weird, and cold approaching women in person was normal. Half the time they'd say yes, if they weren't spoken for. Now it's flipped the other way. Cold approaching women, you're considered a creep or a weirdo, unless you're a Chad. Oh, but she can dress as slutty as she wants with basically those skin-tight pants where you can see literally everything. But if you leer even for 1 second too long, you're a weirdo. So every step of the way in society, men have to keep themselves in check from their natural biological urges. Every single step of society, they constantly have to cuck themselves. Meanwhile, women are supposed to get every single little tiny edge or advantage or freedom that can possibly be afforded to them. And I'm tired of the double standard. I think it's time to pick a lane, fellas. I think it's time to really pick a lane. Either these women truly need to be treated as equal to men, which means they could be drafted, which means there's actual 50-50 custody in the courts. There's no exchange of child support. There's no freaking, divorce and alimony isn't skewed towards one gender over another. When the cops come for a domestic violence situation, they don't automatically take the man to jail. Let's really treat them equal. Right? Either we do that, and I'm fine with that too, or it's time we move back to a more traditional sense of what it means to be a man and a woman in America these days. And the thing that really gets to me, the circumstances are the circumstances, okay? And I could want those to be changed all day long, and maybe they won't be changed. But women, the average American woman, is still completely and totally ungrateful. That's the part I can't get over. It's like they literally cannot see what other countries do to women that are wrong. They literally can't see what happened to their past generations. They still think somehow they're treated unfairly, when it couldn't be any further from the truth. The average man has no reproductive rights in society. A woman can almost sleep with anyone she wants to. A man can only sleep with who he can sleep with. That's the truth. And 85% of women are sleeping with the top 5% of men. That does create an excess male problem. And this happens because women refuse to settle. Now, that being said, yes, I've had success with women. A lot of failures, but success as well. But I have to try so often. I have to repeat the process of liking on dating websites, of constantly, the more you have to simp a lot, possibly. You have to bend over backwards constantly. You know, it's still like they expect chivalry in some way, in some fashion. But yet, they want to make it damn fucking clear that they are a strong, independent woman. Damn fucking clear. And it's like, where is the gratefulness? I don't think women in America know how good they have it. I think it's part of the reason, and you may laugh at this, but I believe this is true. I think there is a good number of men who are wanting to be women just for the simple fact of obtaining more rights. Because objectively speaking, men have less rights than women in America these days. They just do. And not just on a legal level, like I've demonstrated multiple times with the court proceedings and child care and domestic proceedings and military proceedings, but even more so in society. Whether it's, like I said, whether it's sexual availability, it's not equal. And basically, what's gone on here is the pendulum has swung way too far the other direction for equality. And now, literally, men need equality. I'm not joking. It's just the fucking facts. It's crazy. It's actually insane. It's not how it's supposed to be quite honest. And I already hear it in the comments below. Misogynist. Oh, shut the fuck up. Seriously. That's just your get out of jail free card for not facing up to the actual facts. You know? There's a thought experiment. And again, I want to make clear, I am not advocating for this. But I think this, if you actually took the thought experiment to its conclusion, women should be grateful for men. And I'm going to explain why. So, benevolent men protect women from bad men. Good men protect women from bad men. If we ran a society where all the bad men were in charge and none of the good men stepped in to help, you do realize that those men could enslave and or sexually enslave the women, right? If it wasn't for benevolent men who step in and would say, no, we're not going to allow that to happen, right? Whether it's your mother, your sister, your daughter, your friends, your cousins, you don't want them in that position. So benevolent men step in, right? If a woman is attacked, men jump in and help. It's what we do. But the gratefulness is not reciprocated at all. A lot of women just view your average guy as invisible, just totally invisible, or just annoying, or in their way. But again, time and time again, if 85% of women are sleeping with 5% of men, then 17 women to every man is getting fucking fooled by some Chad. And if you just lowered the standard a little bit, or had your looks match standard, correct, then you could potentially be in a happy, long-lasting relationship, like a lot of our grandparents were. That's the sad truth of it is. This singleness epidemic hurts the men, it hurts the women as well, whether they want to admit it or not. They say they're happier. The proof says otherwise. There's several blind studies, several studies about how people really feel, and they ain't happy. Happiness in society has declined tremendously. Now, to some degree, and there's some truth to this, men are becoming happier single because they don't want to put up with the bullshit. With internet and social media, even if you have won the woman, you've never truly won her. She's always one text, one phone call, one bad day, one decision, one slip up, one mistake away from cheating or leaving. Tom Brady couldn't keep his wife happy. What chances does anybody have? And again, this society doesn't treat marriage seriously. State-sponsored marriage is a joke. A total joke. It's a horrible contract for men. She's more than likely going to divorce you on a no-fault divorce because she got bored than any other reason. And then you're stuck losing half your shit. When marriage is really supposed to be about a lifelong commitment until death does you part under God. That's the truth. The truth shall set you free. You see, if your grandma was married 50 years to your grandpa, I'm sure they had their bad days, right? But they stay together anyway. They work through it anyway. They made it work anyway. And our society has lost that. Seriously. How many marriages today do you believe are going to last for 50 years? Honestly. It's a very poor percentage. It's terrible out there. It's truly saddening, really. And thanks to things like the workplace revolution, it gave the Fed the excuse to devalue our currency even faster, knowing society wouldn't collapse. But you just get that squeeze a little more, and you need that dual income, and then all of a sudden the state raises your children and not the mother. Obviously, with that upbringing, we see how awful society has turned out. If you don't think society's awful, I don't know what to tell you. Look at the news. Look at the crime. Look at the desperation. And it's both parties, by the way. It's not one party. We have a uniparty in this America. It's all about making the rich richer and the poor poor. It is. And they do want to pit us race against race, gender versus gender. But I know and I see what they're doing. But that also doesn't mean I can't call out bad behavior. And we got women out there acting like men, talking like men, acting tough, whenever they know they can't be held with the same consequences. Women are emboldened. Women could get in your fucking face and yell at you. And they know damn well you cannot do anything about it. And, you don't see other men doing that to men or else fists go flying. I'm just saying. And, this sort of over-medicated society we have where look how high of a percentage of women are on SSRIs. It's insane. They've all gone crazy. Meanwhile, every man is a misogynist. Every man's a narcissist, even though only 3% of men are narcissists. But, God forbid, you call out the 50% of women that are on SSRIs. And then the other half probably need to be on them. And it's like, they're out of whack because this is not how society should have been. We had it great for so long in America. For so long in America, we had it great. And our empire is falling. It's falling before our very eyes. And without changing hearts and minds, I don't know how to stop it. I certainly don't feel like my video is going to change the heart and mind of a woman who already has a hardened heart. Maybe it was Chad that dumped her. And Chad 2 that did. And Chad 3. And Chad 4. And Chad 5. Meanwhile, average Joe gets no pussy. And what is she going to do? She's going to keep going for Chad. Chad. And every time, Chad is going to leave her at the altar. Because he's an 8 and she's a 5. She's just easy access. Just saying. So you get mad at me all you want. Try to silence me all you like. But the truth is the truth. It's an uncomfortable truth. Truth is often uncomfortable. And perhaps I've made you uncomfortable. For that I apologize, but for that I also say good. Because when you're uncomfortable, things might start happening. Things might start changing. Hearts and minds may start thinking. But I doubt it. Until it affects you personally, you may not feel that way. You may not see what I see. But I see a society where in the Middle East, they forced the women to wear burqas. But in America, they could walk around totally fucking naked almost. So, what happens when those values clash? Well, first of all, who cares more? Do Americans care more? We don't. We've lost our patriotism. Totally. To be quite frank. We as a society have completely rejected nationalism. We've completely rejected patriotism in every way. Part of it is we're tired of our corrupt government. But there are a lot of people that genuinely hate their own country. Not the government. They hate their own country. For God's sake. Without having the slightest clue how much worse it is in so many parts of the world. And trust me, there is massive room for improvement in this country. And there is massive corruption in this nation. But to be quite frank, and to be as blunt as I can, even if we're all broke, if we're getting some fucking pussy, we're happy. Right? If we get pussy on the regular, society functions. Shit gets done. But millions of men have given up on working. They've given up on chasing pussy. The juice isn't worth the squeeze to them anymore. And I'm starting to understand. I'm starting to see why. The amount of dumbass situations I've gotten myself in the last 2 decades for the sake of chasing skirts is ridiculous. The amount of money I've lost, I would be a goddamn millionaire by now. If not for chasing it. What difference does it make? At this point, it's so much easier to let your hand do the talking. No joke. This shit isn't worth it anymore. And maybe it took me way longer than some guys to figure out, but I've about had it up to here. Okay, I've about had it up to here. It's bullshit. The dating market is bullshit. I shouldn't have to like 5,000 fucking profiles to get like 10 matches, and out of those 10 matches have actually 5 conversations, and out of those 5 conversations have 3 dates, and out of those 3 dates get laid once for every 5,000 likes I have to push. Fuck that. Fuck that. And in the meantime, no, you're always having to pay for it. Whether by hooker or by crooker, you're paying one way or another. You're paying for dinner. You're paying for transportation. You're always on the hook. You know, a wise man once said, you don't pay a hooker for sex, you pay her to leave. I understand. I understand what they mean now. Because I've noticed, even when I win the woman, even when I get the girl, their life half the time is a living hell. And when she leaves, it's time to rejoice. I can do what I want without getting bitched and nagged at. Ugh. Fuck. Anyway. Look, I better stop here, because if I say any more, I doubt this video will even be left up on YouTube. I seriously think if I say any more at all, the lines are fully crossed, and I don't need that deal with that. So hopefully you enjoyed this content, and I'll see you later.